All right, y'all, we're back. Your boy J-kruz and friends. We're going to continue the conversation, but this time we're going to head over to the DC side of things. The Batman, Matt Reeves. We're a little behind on this, but I haven't seen my friends in a while, and we got to get to talking because I've been waiting. It's on HBO right now. I haven't seen it for the second time officially yet, but I am looking forward to it. I'm just making some time because, again, it is a 3-hour movie. Mm-hmm. I got to say it was really, really good. I do have two major complaints, fellas, that I got to bring up.
What?
Because they really, really, like, I remember watching the movie and thinking, why would you do this? But anyway, I'm going to let you guys talk a little bit. The Batman, what did you think? And what was your favorite part? And then we'll go to the negative aspect of it. Tyler, you can go first.
Hold on. I think my speaker turned off. Sorry about that.
You're good.
Can you hear me good?
Yeah,
you can hear you.
Great.
Okay, cool. Overall, my thoughts, I'm the biggest fan of this movie, and this is probably like one of my favorite superhero movies ever now. It's probably taken that spot. I really like the classy look on Batman. I thought the Ben Affleck one had some potential, but I honestly really liked this one a lot better. And overall, like we were talking about Doctor Strange and the pacing of that, I feel like this movie is longer and it's paced 10 times better. It doesn't feel like 3 hours to me. Love the look of this world, and I love the performances. I can't wait to see more.
Okay. Ray?
To be honest with you,
you don't have to hold back. You tell us how you feel, buddy.
Listen,
tell us how you feel.
It's been a long time since I've seen this movie. A lot's happened since then.
Right.
From my recollection, I thought it was a good movie, but it wasn't my favorite Batman movie. It was a little too slow for me, but that's just my preference.
You good? You good?
And other than that, it was okay. I think we had a little. I don't know if it was me or was it Tracy had a little back and forth on TikTok about it.
But wait, I need you to say what was positive about it. We'll go to the negative in a second.
I did see that back and forth.
I just said it wasn't. The thing I'm saying is positive is that it wasn't bad.
Okay, so that's as good as a comment that you can give the Batman. Is that what you're saying?
At this current moment. I mean, you guys might change my mind, but I just at this moment, I just thought it was okay. It was very okay.
Okay, so I think it might be my favorite Batman movie to a certain degree. Seriously, like I think it was in many ways better than Nolan's Batman's. I do. Like I liked how it was like it was grittier. Like Nolan's Batman was so high tech, was so clean cut. Everything was so like boom, boom, bam. Like, and this guy was like. This one was like, it was rough around the edges. Like, it was like, he was actually committing mistakes while trying to pull off these stunts. You know what I mean? When he flew and he messes up the landing, I love that. He messed and got balled up like boom, boom, bam. I was like, oh shit, that's so like.
That was practical too.
Exactly. It just it said to me, oh snap, like. I've seen people jump off of buildings with these goddamn suits on. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and they filmed that scene. Matt Reeves, one of the cool things that he did was he looked at how paragliders on YouTube film themselves gliding, and so he filmed it like
that way.
They like usually strap GoPros on their forehead, so I have that forehead shot.
Yeah. No, and again, I love the clinging of the boot. That almost like a cowboy thing. I thought that was really cool. Yeah. I thought it was so cool. I was like,
but he turns it off too. Like he can turn it off and sneak around. He does that for intimidation. Oh gosh.
I didn't. So there are times when it doesn't come. Okay, I see what you mean. So it's like it adds to it. Okay, so they were like, all right. So just to keep it positive, I love the suit. I loved the characters. The pacing was pretty good. Like I know it was a 3-hour movie, but never was I in there like maybe once or twice I felt like the scenes could have been sped up a little bit. Not actually sped up, but maybe just a little less dialogue because it was just a little drug out. But it didn't overly feel like a 3-hour movie. You know, I wasn't sitting like, oh man, I can't wait for this thing to be over. It had me hooked. It pulled me. It had me the whole time. And I thought, like I said, in a lot of ways, I like it a lot better than Nolan's. And I think in tons of ways, it was better than Zack Snyder's. But again, I do like Batman's Affleck's look. I do. I was in the warehouse scene. I think the Batman. I don't know if any scene in the Batman, as far as like fight scenes, topped Zack Snyder's warehouse scene. To me,
that was a good scene. That honestly is my favorite Batman fight scene. I will give him that.
Because he was very stealthy and powerful. You know what I mean? But he still used stealth with the weapons. And one of my complaints about the Batman, let me talk about my 2 major complaints. Okay. A lot of machine guns in this movie, guys. A lot of bad guys with machine guns. Not one time did anybody shoot at his head.
There was one part where it did when he was with Selena Kyle and they were in the back. It was right before the car chase. They open the bag and they see Selena Kyle's friend. When he gets shot, one of them does bounce off his head.
Like it ricochets or like
the
official? Oh, it ricochets off his head. Okay, so like the scene in the hallway where he's walking up and like they're all like, okay, you're in this tight quarter with guys with machine guns and they're all just aiming like.
Yeah.
Now, visually, I thought it was really, really good, but it wasn't dark enough. Like, if they can't see him, then it makes sense. But like, he was too out. Like, it was too bright for me. Like, you know what I mean? Like, why y'all keep y'all guns here? Everybody keeps them like at this. Like, nobody shoots up top. Like, trying to kill him.
You know what is interesting is that scene was only lit by the muzzle flares. Like, they did that practically. So.
I see what you mean, right? Because it was only when you were shooting, is when you could see him, right? So, again, and then the stick when he's up in the high rise or like the scaffolds and they're fighting up at the top. I feel like again a lot of machine guns and nobody ever kind of just you see this doesn't look like it's a bulletproof helmet. Like shoot his goddamn shoot him in the mouth.
He did have the biggest opening. They wanted to show off his jaw, like it was
right. It's really big, right? So it's like if you're shooting and you're looking for a vulnerable area, like wouldn't all this be like, hey, shoot him in the mouth?
Shoot him in the mouth. Yeah.
So what I felt was because of that, I felt like he could have been a little more stealthy with his attacks, where they were a lot up front, too much sometimes. I feel like you're risky. And then 2, and I literally hate this part of it because I'm watching the movie and I said, Matt, like I knew him. I'm like, Matt, why would you do Matt, listen, this movie's like spectacular. Why are you doing this? Okay, so this is the scene. When they're in the church and who's that, the commissioner, whoever's strapped to the bomb, right? They got the bomb strapped on them.
Oh, the DA, yeah.
At the funeral, right? When they're at the funeral or whatever. When it explodes, and he gets knocked back, right? Batman gets knocked back, and he's unconscious. Obviously, he's unconscious. And then next scene, he's at the police station laying on a table with all the police officers around him. He gets up, and then an officer, after he gets up, he gains consciousness and gets up off the table. That's when somebody tries to, like, pull his mask. Okay, here's what. Time the fuck out. First of all, he's unconscious. Yeah. Somebody put him in an ambulance or in a police vehicle, took him to the police station, took him out of the ambulance or police vehicle, put him on a table at the police station where most of the cops don't like him and they're dirty. They lay him on a table for God knows how long, wait for him to get up, and then somebody tries to peek into his mask, bro. it was just, to me, it was just so like, it showed me that part of it was protected in when you took, you know what I mean? To show me somehow, wait, is Commissioner Gordon with him in the ambulance the whole time? I mean,
that could have been a
emergence.
possibility.
You see what I'm saying? Like, okay, so Gordon was with him in the ambulance the whole time and made sure nobody looked at his mask. Okay, that makes sense. But show me that.
Yeah.
The ER people, if you get hurt, what's the first thing they do? If you got a helmet on or something, they're going to take it off probably. They're going to make sure, you know, they want to check your vitals. They're going to, you're telling me that the nobody, the whole time this guy is unconscious, not one person said, let me see who the fuck this is. Like, what?
Yeah.
Right.
So I remember watching it and thinking to myself, and then what really pissed me off is that he has somebody tried to, after he got up, somebody actually did try to like move his mask. I'm like, why would you do that? You know what I'm saying? It was, to me, it was just like salt in the wound. Like, you already gave me a wound by met to me like with that scene, and then like having somebody, then you, while after he gets up, you try to look at the mask. So what's under the mask? Like,
I think it is implied that Commissioner Gordon, I don't think he's a commissioner at this point, but it is implied that he does stick his neck out for Batman a lot of times, and that has caused like friction. Like, whenever he invites Batman to the crime scene, he's the only one that like everybody's like, are you sure about it?
Right,
And,
right.
Even after that scene, he's like protecting the Batman the whole time, and they're like, are you with this guy, Commissioner? Are you dirty too? And all this stuff. So I think it is implied that probably up until that point, Commissioner has been protecting him, and they kind of have been, they're like, oh, screw this. Like, we want to know who he is. One of them grabbed him by the ear when he was fighting too. I thought that was a funny little detail. I've seen this movie 3 times, so like.
Okay, so I missed that. Somebody grabs his ear?
Yeah, someone grabs his ear too. It's really funny. I've seen this movie like 3 times, so like there are a lot of little details that that I think that like a second or third watch, honestly, this movie gets better the more you watch it. So I think like little details like that would probably.
I heard that before. Before. Somebody said the more you watch it, the more you like it. So yeah, I'm willing to give it another try.
A lot of cool details in it. And like a lot of subtext that is hard to get on the first time because so many new things are coming at you. So I would say if you don't like it as much, maybe give it one more watch or skim through some scenes that you don't like, some subtext.
Now, Ray, you got a little bit of hater in your blood, so it doesn't matter how many times you watch it, you might still come out a hater, but that's okay, you know. Tyler's making a point. Go watch it again.
No, I've done that before, and I'm gonna do it. I'll give it another shot.
There are some movies that I've not liked on the first time that I've rewatched and I like it more. Like The Last Jedi, I didn't like it the first time, or I was okay with it the first time, but the second time I watched it, I noticed some things. So
it
sometimes I do that too.
Yeah, it won you over.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that movie has won me over.
So somebody explained something to me in regards to Catwoman.
Yeah.
Does she not have her feline era parkour acrobatic powers? Is she supposed to have that?
I mean, she was pretty good with that whip.
I mean, there was one. I only saw one scene where she was acrobatic when she was going down the stairwell, the building, and there was that one little part. I didn't really see her do anything else. Other than just walk around and being a spy, wearing a little spy contact. I didn't really get Catwoman in that mask. Get the whole face out. Like, we can see who you are.
Well, she doesn't really hide really like Batman. She doesn't really have like the moral code that he does or anything like that. I thought the spirit of Catwoman was best encapsulated in this movie though. She has and the dynamic between Batman and Catwoman was played up really well in this, where Batman is like kind of like an incel, where like he doesn't talk to women, and Catwoman uses her sexuality to get closer to people, and she's clearly doing that with Batman. It's not like, I don't feel like it's like a relationship. I feel like he thinks it's a relationship, And I think that she just kind of uses like her sexuality to kind of get what she wants out of him. And I really thought that this movie really did that aspect really well. Sometimes it's not wholly reciprocated and it's like one-sided, and
it is like people try to paint their relationship like they both got the hots for each other, and it's not necessarily that. It's like, it's more like a part of him kind of wants her, but a part of him knows that she's no good.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, and like he overestimates how much like he means to her. Because like he doesn't mean as much to her as he thinks she does. He just doesn't have a lot of contact with women in a like a emotionally intimate way. He's kind of more of a
but I will say, even calling him I feel like in this Batman version, the Playboy Batman really isn't that present though.
Yeah, and I really
like
that departure, and we can talk
like
about that more. I feel like some people don't like that.
They don't. Ray don't
like that. No, that's not I don't like it. That's not that I don't like it.
He's like an emo Batman. He's like really, people. I will say this: people complain about how dark Ben Affleck's Batman was in Batman versus Superman. This dude was pretty depressed. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
This dude was dark, telling Alfred, "You're not my dad. Like leave me alone. Like, you're not my dad, right?"
That's the best iteration.
Yes, it was tough. Like he was like emo. He was like dark hair, dark, depressed. He's not at a. I read a thing once that said every single Batman we've ever gotten went to some kind of gala. There was some kind of gala where he shows up debonair in a suit with women. Every single version of Batman that we've had, this was the first one where you didn't get that. You didn't get this playboy, Batman who's like a bachelor living his best life, no worries. This guy was like dark. He was like, he stayed to himself. He didn't do the whole publicity thing.
Well, I think that, I saw an interview with Robert Pattinson and the director, and they were talking about how they wanted this version of Batman because he is so young. We haven't really seen a Batman where it's like his second year, except for Batman Begins, but I think there's like a time and implied time montage in Batman Begins where like they show his first year, but like there's been some time. This one is like smack dab second year. And I think what they wanted to do was that there wasn't really a line between Bruce Wayne and Batman, that it was just kind of he's at a very vulnerable point in his life, and you can kind of see. I really liked it. They had like Robert Pattinson has this voice that he does for Batman, and there are some times where he's emotional. His Bruce Wayne voice comes out while he's in the suit, and so I really like that.
Oh, well, you could literally you could tell the difference. I gotta check that out. Check that out.
When he feels like Commissioner, like in that cop scene where Commissioner like pushes him, and he's like, hey,
when he tells him, he says, hit me or whatever.
He's like, well, like there's like one point right before that where they're surrounded, and Commissioner like, there was like one line that Batman says, he's like, the cop says, "Oh, I got you for hitting assault on 2 officers." He's like, "No, you got me on assault for 3," and he's about to fight him, and Commissioner's like, "Hey, stop! This isn't you." Batman says, "Oh, you too now?" But it's in Bruce Wayne's voice, like he feels betrayed, and so anytime like he's emotional or he gets vulnerable, he goes back to his Bruce Wayne, and so it switches back and forth. Because I don't think he knows how to control it at this point. So I really like that that deviation in this version of Bruce Wayne, but I know a lot of people don't like it. I appreciate it though.
No, I was pleasantly surprised. I think he did a really cool job. The scene when they're at the hospital and he's talking to Alfred, I felt like that one was good scene, but I felt like it could have been shortened a little bit. I just felt like it was like this long not montage, but just this long conversation, and it was just like, okay, come on. Man, but okay, do you remember when he's talking to the Riddler, and it seems like the Riddler knows who he is, right?
Oh my gosh, yes.
So, like, he's this close to, like, saying something, like, because when he's like, yeah, Bruce Wayne. Like, Bruce,
gosh.
you know. And he's, like, literally about to say something, and then when the Riddler says, yeah, we didn't get him, he realizes that the Riddler doesn't. His eyes, he didn't say a word, bro, but his facial expression said a million things.
Yeah, he looks like scared, and he didn't even look Riddler in the eye throughout that whole scene. He was just looking away. He looked like he was like a cat, like caught with his tail between his legs. I really loved that. This performance was like Drive, where there's like Ryan Gosling in Drive, where there's a lot of things that are said when he's not saying anything.
In the movie Drive, yeah, that's a good movie. That's a really good movie too. But literally in his eyes, because you could like when he like the way they opened up, he kind of like looks back and they just open up, and like it was just like it was like, oh, he just realized, because people are like, I was talking to somebody and they missed that because they were like, well, the Riddler knew he was Batman. I was like, no, then you see what happened? The Riddler kind of told him that he didn't know. That was the guy that they didn't get. They didn't get Bruce Wayne.
Yeah.
And he was like, oh, for real? I was like, yeah, go back and look at it. You know, like, I mean, I'm just saying his acting skill is that good where he said a whole lot of words with just his reaction, his face. And you got a whole cowl on your face and you're still being able to deliver this message with your acting ability. So I thought that was a really, really dope scene. I did too.
Speaking of the hospital scene real quick, there was one nitpick that I did have with the hospital scene.
Give it to me.
Yeah, I wish that they really committed to Thomas Wayne was a bad person. Like we learned that Thomas Wayne like paid Falcone to kill a reporter. That's really bad. And I feel like I really like that, but then the next scene is Alfred being like, oh no, he's a good guy. He just didn't know Falcone would kill that reporter. I don't know.
He thought that Falcone was just going to hurt him, like not kill him, like break a couple legs or something. I mean, still bad. And like, it was really interesting to give a Batman's backstory a little bit more complexity, right? It wasn't like, oh, these two perfect people got killed in the alley. He was such a great man who was trying to do so much. No, he was a human who made mistakes and hid some stuff, and the Riddler found out about it. So he's exploiting people. I mean, like he wants to expose all this bad things that are happening. I wasn't necessarily super crazy about Riddler's costume. I
loved it.
You did?
I'm super biased, I guess. I'll stop talking because
you're good.
I like the Zodiac take on him.
I like the Zodiac take on him. I just, it was just a little.
And there was a nod to the Jim Carrey Riddler with it. Same glasses that Jim Carrey's Riddler wears.
I didn't realize that. Okay. Yeah. Okay. I thought the guy did a good job. I liked him. I liked the way the Riddler was, like, as a character. I thought it was cool. And
he's a really good actor.
And it started off pretty gruesome. Like that first scene when it first starts, I'm like, wait, is this Batman? I was like, what are we watching? It was pretty. And then you didn't see it, but he's hitting him with the hammer or whatever?
A carpenter tool.
Yeah, the carpenter tool. I was like, oh, they're really starting off pretty. And that's my thing. All these complaints about Ben Affleck's Batman being too dark, this dude takes the cake. Okay. Yeah,
but Batman
it was done better. It was done better.
Batman isn't the one killing people in this.
I know, but he was come on. He's a pretty dark Batman.
Yeah.
He's dark
for sure. The first fight where he just wails on that guy. The guy's like, "Who are you supposed to be?" He just
vengeance. Like it was so.
I love that line. And then I love that people only know him as Vengeance. They don't know his name, so people call him Vengeance because that's the only.
Because that's what he's telling people every time he.
It's probably like a story that those guys told that that kid who was innocent probably is telling everyone, yeah, his name's Vengeance and all that.
Yeah.
So, loved it.
Now, early Batman, I thought the scene when he goes down and leads everyone with the flare was so symbolic, where he's leading Gotham into the light.
Yeah.
You know, it was like, oh, look
It's
at
like
that metaphor.
It's like a baptism almost of sorts.
Oh.
Like when you know, because like the whole thing was like one of Riddler's henchmen, you know, quoted him. He said, "I'm vengeance," and then the Riddler also. Batman inspired the Riddler because the Riddler said, like, you know, I saw how you operate and that's how I want to, you know.
Right.
All it takes is
we're
a
like
mask
a
and
team.
some,
Almost.
yeah, exactly. All it takes is a mask and some pointed violence. So whenever the Riddler henchman said, "I'm vengeance," I feel like that was the point where Robert was like, I have to become hope instead of vengeance. And so I like that visual metaphor where he like is baptized in the water and he comes out and there's a ray of light and now he,
you know, that's crazy you said that, because you're right. Like, the Riddler almost shows him, like, the way you are, it inspired me to do this.
Yeah.
Like, you're inspiring, you know. Batman's like, you know, it's year 2, he's learning that just being dark and mean and mad all the time, you're gonna inspire that same kind of response from people, right?
That scene visually reminded me a lot of the Aquaman scene when they dove down into the wrench.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
The trench. And then like it's the flare, and then all of them are like kind of scattered, but you can see them, and you can see both the over the ocean and below the ocean side view.
Yeah.
Man, that was an amazing visual scene. But kind of reminded me it's almost the same thing where it was just the light, and it was amazing. I like that.
That's like the first sacrificial thing Batman has done for Gotham, and so you know, I really love that ending. I hear a lot of people, they think that the ending is rushed or anything, but I really like it.
I don't think so.
Yeah, I've heard that criticism where people are like, oh, it's just kind of, you know, out of left field, but I really like that. It's like the first time Batman's kind of caught off guard and he has to because he didn't expect the final part of the plan, and so he kind of has to fight with on the fly, and then he realizes he has to be more than fighting. He has to save people too. I thought it was a really good ending for a Batman movie.
No, I thought it. Yeah, I don't feel like it ended awkwardly at all. I thought it was a very good ending. I thought like I said, when I watched the movie, now it is a 3-hour movie. You got to dedicate, like, you got to cut out some time and be like, okay, you guys ready? We're gonna be here for 3 hours. But I do feel like I don't feel like it. You know, you don't sit there like, oh my God, it's 3. You know what I'm saying? You're just so into it. It brings you in. It keeps you locked, and you move it. Now, you guys, I've complained about this before. I kind of wanted a Batman that wasn't that much based in reality, so I could get a Poison Ivy, I could get a Clayface. You know, I've complained about this before. I don't think I'm going to be getting it with this Batman.
No.
Well, Mr. Freeze, people have been toying with Mr. Freeze being in the second one. I hope that that's true. And I do agree. I don't want a real... That was the biggest complaint that I have with this. I still love the movie, but when you make it based in reality, you're right. Like, you can't get the Rogues Gallery.
You just put limitations on it, and if you do introduce a Poison Ivy, she's not actually going to control wildlife.
Yeah,
it's just going to be some kind of angle where, you know, she has a green thumb or something. I don't know. She's fucking used it. She uses
or Solomon Grundy
or Solomon Grundy, or, you know, just more. And I was kind of looking forward to that, but I don't think I'm going to get it yet. Not with this one, unless they push the realm of reality a little bit with part 2, which I don't, but do it tastefully, right? Because I don't want you giving me this and then going like far left with this totally over the top shit now, where it's just not gonna like mesh well, you know?
Yeah. And then, did you hear the plans that with the Flash movie, because it's all in shambles because Ezra Miller is
wilding out. He must be on drugs or whatever. Yeah, losing his freaking mind.
Arrested in Hawaii, like, make them leave Hawaii. I don't know, but apparently now, because they need a rewrite Ezra Miller out, they're toying with the critical and like huge success of the Batman. They're toying with the idea of bringing Batman through like this multiverse crap.
No.
And I'm like, no, he is the worst person to be this new Batman. Bring Ben Affleck back.
Yeah, Ben.
I know Ben Affleck doesn't like these movies or doing these movies like it, but I mean, there's so much potential with the Ben Affleck movie. I think Red Hood is like one of the best Under the Red Hood is one of the best Batman stories. And I was so excited that we saw a dead Robin. I was like, oh, maybe we could do one, but no.
No, you need to leave this Pattinson in this universe by itself. Like, if you keep it the way it is, like that's what you did wrong with Zack Snyder's theme. Like, let them do their thing once they started. Don't bring somebody in and try to shape it different. Do some like multiverse thingy with this. Leave it alone. Okay. Before we wrap this up, because it's all right, we're not gonna do any Moon Knight. Maybe next time. Did you guys see the Joker deleted scene?
Yes, I loved it. I was
Ray,
skeptical.
did you see it? You haven't seen it.
Really good.
No, I haven't seen it.
Not to ruin it for you, Ray, but we got you on here.
It's fine.
So it's like a 10-minute scene of Batman going to visit the Joker to get information about the Riddler. They took it out of the movie because it's very similar to the end scene with him and the Riddler at the police station. From what I read, Matt Reeves said the two scenes are a little too similar, where he's at a police station and not interrogating, but meeting with two villains. Yeah. But in the movie, he initially goes, and it was 3 hours long, so Matt was like, let me take it out. He goes to visit the Joker, who he already has obviously dealt with before, and maybe that's why he's in jail already. So in his first year, maybe that's who he thought was the Joker. But Joker's already in jail. You see what I'm saying, Tyler? I thought maybe, because obviously they had some history there.
Well, he said it's our anniversary, isn't it?
Right, exactly.
And then, I guess I read some interviews where this necessarily isn't the Joker right now. He's just a serial killer at this point. But it's definitely the Joker, but he's not called the Joker right now. He's just like some random serial killer.
So they don't call him the Joker yet. Okay, I got you.
Because it's so early in Batman's infancy. Everything else is so early. I really like the design. I really like how they didn't show it fully. I loved the shot of the nails.
His hands.
Yeah, his hands are just all mangled, and his nails are ripped off, and like he's got like a deformed face. It's not like the Heath Ledger one where it's like someone like put a knife in it. It was like more like a facial deformity, and I really like. It's the guy. Ray, I don't know.
Eternals.
Eternals. Yes. Drew from Eternals. The guy who plays Drew, he's the new Joker.
You remember?
Oh, yeah.
Remember Drew, the young boy who could make people do things with his mind?
Control their minds. Yeah, he's Joker now. That actor is really good. He's been in a lot of. He's honestly a really chaotic character in most of the movies that he's in.
Yeah, I do. I definitely feel like they picked a good guy to play the Joker. I feel like, he's cool. I just, so anyway, Ray, like, at first you don't get to really see the Joker. You see Batman, he walks into the cell. You kind of don't see him, and you kind of catch glimpses of him, like side views a little bit, but not very clear. And they slowly show you bits and pieces during the scene, like while it keeps moving on. You see his hands. His hands look beat up and deformed, and his nails are like. And then you see like glimpses of his head. He has like patches of hair missing. And then they show you like his mouth moving and his teeth and his sort of like piece of his face. The dude looks like he's been through a grinder, a meat grind. He looks like, and eventually you get to see it, and he's just very like scary looking. It's like, how like Joker's kind of like still has kind of like a cool look to him. This guy is like. There's nothing pretty about him. I'll put it like that.
You mean he doesn't? Arkham games, where he's like in the Arkham games, he has like this weird texture to his face, and it's like rough and all that. Yeah.
You mean to tell me he's not covered with tattoos and has a grill?
Oh, he doesn't have the damage. I don't want
He
it.
doesn't look
He
like a
doesn't have
rapper.
damage on his-
Yeah, no, this one doesn't look like a rapper.
Yeah,
Now, I
yeah,
don't
yeah.
mind that look. I kind of like that Joker's look. I know everybody's hard on that look of Joker. I didn't mind it. But yeah, I do feel I was a little. I didn't understand why he released it. If you're gonna take it out of the movie, why release it like a week later? Like they literally they made plans to release it online just so people could see it.
I think honestly it was to test the water to see if people would watch another Joker. Because I know online, people. I think Matt Reeves wants to do the Joker in another movie. I hope not, but
I don't want to. Oh my God, Tyler, I'm not gonna lie. I think it's cool. Oh, also, this Joker did not fall in a batch of toxic waste or whatever. He was born with these deformities. Because I read an article where Matt Reeves said my Joker is, he has a different backstory. He was born like this. He's always been like this. He feels like the world played a cruel joke on him because of the way he looks. So he's always looked like this.
And it's very inspired by the original inspiration of the Joker, which was The Man Who Smiles. That's a movie about a guy with a facial deformity where he smiles.
He's like this or like like this. Yeah.
And that inspired the Joker originally, and so
he
he's
went
going back to the roots.
To the roots of it, which now I am more used to the not handsome Joker, but Joker that can still get a girl here and there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Heath Ledger is very handsome. Yeah.
Right. He was like, I can still he can still get some ass. I don't think this guy's getting any at all. But I did feel it was kind of weird to release it right afterwards. And I'm not gonna lie, the last villain I want to see is another Joker.
I want Matt Reeves has toyed with the Court of Owls. Robert Pattinson said he read the Court of Owls, and it's like I hope that's the next villain. Like I really like this whole theme of systemic corruption, and the Court of Owls is
right. It's perfect, right? Clear, because they're working to make Gotham a better place, and that whole 9. It's the beginning stages. Like, please don't give me another Joker. Not yet.
That's the last thing I want. I really liked the Joker deleted scene. Maybe have him like in the background, and then maybe in the third movie.
Please don't. Not the second one. I'm really keeping my fingers crossed. Because then this would be
just the Dark Knight trilogy 2.0. That's what it would be.
That's what I'm saying. And what are you gonna do? Bane for the third one? Like you're really gonna tick me off. Yeah. But I will give it 1 out of 10. Tyler, what do you give the Batman? 1 out of 10.
Oh, 1 out of 10. I would give it. I want to say 10 because like I honestly don't have any problems with it. But to be like as impartial, I probably like a 9. Just because I don't want to be.
You gotta shave off something. You
Man, if you want
I don't want to be a shill.
You want to be a 10, give it a 10. That's what you want to do.
Because here's my thing, Tyler. Here's my thing. When are you ever really gonna get an opportunity to give a movie a 10?
Yeah, that's true.
Don't worry.
We do only talk about comic book movies, and
how many opportunities are we gonna? Right.
Yeah, sure. It's a 10 for me. I don't really. All right. Sound design. I loved everything. It was very Americana. I loved the stripped down Batmobile. I thought that was like
the Batmobile scene. Oh my god, that shit was sick. I was like
sound design when he turned it on. And I was like, oh my god. And I love that little bit of comedy in it because he stalls the Batmobile. I think that was like the first time he did it because earlier you see all this parts stripped out, so it looked like he had just built it. But yes, loved the Americana feel, loved the performances, and I just loved the cinematography. They used the volume for this, that like room where you just project the background, so it's not CGI. It's all these computer monitors, and it looked really good. Yeah, they do that with The Mandalorian and Boba Fett, where it's not CG. It's just you ought to watch a video explaining it. But yeah, it's literally just computer monitors with the background on it. It looked great. there was no bad CG for me.
Oh, so instead of you're saying instead of a green screen, they have a big monitor, and that's what they're standing in front of. Oh,
yeah,
okay,
and then the monitor changes when the camera moves. The monitor changes to match the perspective.
So whatever, if the camera was actually shooting the back scene. Okay.
Yeah, and they match the lighting to the background and everything. So it's a new revolutionary way to shoot it. Not very many things have been able to shoot it that way. So really cool. Overall, I just love the rich texture visually that the film has. I love the noir look, the structure of it. It's a detective movie, which Batman movies haven't done. Overall, I can't really think of any problems.
And I gotta say too, the music was good too, man.
Oh my god!
Oh, it was just whatever instruments they were using. That shit was killing. Like, oh my god, the beginning scene when he first goes to investigate, just like the clinging of his boots, the cowboy boot clink. Like, oh my god, like they were whatever. Those were so good. All right, Ray, 1 to 10. 1 to 10. I'm scared. You're over there.
I'm gonna be modest, just because I can't remember everything that I didn't like at the time. I'll give it about a 6, 7 ish.
I feel like you're just no, Tyler, that's disrespectful.
I'm not trying to be this. I'll be a modest guy. You're
good. You're good.
I'm gonna give it.
I do remember some TikToks where you were you said some very very negative things about it, and I do remember that conversation. I was lurking on your TikTok. I did see that conversation you had.
Yeah, me and Tracy were going at it. Me and Tracy, that was hilarious.
I did see that.
It's just not. Like I said, I'm gonna watch it again, and then I'll probably revise it. Right now, I'm gonna go with a 6.5, and I'll probably revise. Let me watch it again, and then I might be able to give us a better. If you, I don't know. I'm just what I'm saying.
All right, so because of the explosion scene and him waking up at the police station and me having to him expecting me to believe that nobody tried to look under his goddamn cow, the whole transportation part of it, and then a little bit with I think he just should have been a little more stealthy, took a lot of risks with a lot of machine guns. That's why I felt like, Batman, you need to be sneaking up, make people disappear, kind of, in and out, kind of Batman a little bit. I'll give it. And okay, another complaint that it's based a lot in reality. I'll give it an 8.5. I give it an 8.5.
Those are good criticisms.
Yeah, that's the only thing. Again, the whole it being based in reality, it's not necessarily a criticism. It's more of I wanted a Batman that pushed the realm of reality a little bit. That's more of just my preference, because we've already had this super realistic, down-to-earth Batman. We've had that with Nolan. He gave us that. And he did such a well job with it, where I feel like the next guy getting a chance to do Batman could have had a little more, push the, imagination a little bit, just a tad bit. But anyway.
Do you believe Matt Reeves was originally going to do the Batfleck movie? I still can't believe that.
You mean?
So how the process for this movie is crazy. So Ben Affleck was going to direct the Batfleck movie, and then Ben Affleck said, it's too much for me to direct. I'm going to hire another director. They hired Matt Reeves. Ben Affleck even posted on Instagram a picture of him in the Batman suit. He's like, hey, welcome Matt Reeves. So Matt Reeves was originally supposed to do Batfleck, and then Matt Reeves read Ben Affleck's script, and he didn't like it. So he was going to rewrite Ben Affleck's movie.
I remember that somebody had read Ben Affleck's and they didn't really.
Yeah, it was Matt Reeves, and he didn't like it, and so he told Warner Brothers, hey, I'll do it, but I have to rewrite the script because it's not a movie I want to make. And they were like, okay, yeah, that's fine. And so he was filming War for the Planet of the Apes during this time, and they said, finish your movie, come back, write the script, and and they actually released Matt Reeves' concept art for a new Batfleck suit. It's very interesting.
Really?
Yeah, you ought to look it up. Batfleck.
Looking it up right now.
Concept. Yeah, it's a it has the Cal is very similar to the the Robert Pattinson one too. And so in the meantime, when Matt Reeves is like, he's like, okay, I'm gonna go finish War for the Planet of the Apes. Ben Affleck was like, I don't want to play Batman anymore, and so Matt Reeves came back. Ben Affleck didn't want to do it, and they were like, hey, Matt Reeves, just do whatever you want at this point.
And we got this amazing ass movie, which, and again, I feel like, oh, I see it. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool looking.
It's very interesting how this movie came out good, even though it had so many production hurdles to it.
Right.
I'm very impressed with it.
No, I'm excited. It was definitely. I'm looking forward to the second one, and I know I heard Robert Pattinson has already agreed, but we'll see where it goes.
Yeah.
We're gonna wrap that up, fellas. I appreciate you, Ray. Tyler, it's been a while. I'm glad we can't, let's not wait so long again for the next one. Let's enjoy that. We'll touch on Moon Knight or whatever comes out in a little bit, but I
was a little disappointed when he didn't get the opportunity to go over Moon Knight. I felt really strong about this show, and I felt like Moon Knight, especially episode number 5, what is the greatest Marvel anything that's ever made. Episode 5 of the Moon Knight.
All right,
but
give me give me a little bit. Like we can wait like a couple days or several days and hop on this Moon Knight because we've been on for an hour and 14 minutes. I'm done.
Yeah. And I gotta get some shut eye. Gotta get up early in the morning.
No, there's some really good stuff. I appreciate you, Tyler. I appreciate you, Ray. That's been another podcast, We Cruising Podcast, J-kruz and Friends reviews of the Batman. Till next time, fellas. Adios.